Let's have a conversation. A conversation today about ScrumBan. I hear people all the time who get confused about Scrum, Kanban. Is it real? Is there such a thing as ScrumBan? I just want to set the record straight today. Every time someone tells me, hey, we're doing ScrumBan, I always raise an eyebrow. Not because I doubt that they're doing it or I doubt in the power of hybrids. Hybrids can be powerful if they're used correctly, but because in my experience, ScrumBan is rare. And too many people chalk it up as a sign of maturity, when in actuality, it's an excuse, dare I say it, or even sometimes a cry for help. I know that sounds weird because in my classes, I talk about the power of ScrumBan in my advanced courses. But if you're trying to do this too early on the onset, or if you're trying to do it incorrectly, I see certain things in ScrumBan setups that raised a flag for me. So let me tell you what I see behind most setups. A product team wants the stickers and whiteboards of Scrum without the actual commitment. So they say, we're going to do ScrumBan. Or the product owner just can't say no. If you have a product owner who can't say no, everything can just keep being added as a ticket in ScrumBan, right? Or a Scrum Master that lets the word flexible, air quotes, become an excuse for chaos. That's not agile. In fact, if I had to dive in, I'd even call it camouflage. This is deflection. There's nothing more to it. People love saying, well, we tried Scrum and, well, it didn't work for us. So now we're doing ScrumBan. Translation, we couldn't handle doing Scrum properly because it forced us to focus on delivery only. So we downgraded and slapped a new name on it. Ouch, I went there. Let's unpack the most common flavors of ScrumBan. I've seen them all, and most of the time they taste like confusion. In the end, I promise I'll tell you what works. Here we go. How about the whole dynamic sprint length? This is my favorite, right? Sprints change depending on what we feel like today. We didn't finish it, so let's just extend it, or let's just make it. The client asked for something new. Let's add it halfway through because we can, because we're ScrumBan. If you keep changing the goal, if you keep changing the finish line, are you ever going to end the race? Do you even have a sprint? Is there even a race at all? If you're adding new scope every 2 days or every 3 days or 4 days, is it still a time box or is it just a box at that point? And if the sprint has no clear ending, how is this different from any kind of just unstructured Kanban? It's not. It's not adaptive. It's not adaptive. It's more like undisciplined. A real sprint has a goal, a purpose. It ends when it ends. Otherwise, you're not doing Scrum at all. And whoever shouts the loudest is who wins. And that's not where you want to be. How about this? This is my second form I see. We have a backlog, but no vision Scrum. This one is subtle. On the surface, you still have 2-week sprints, but you look closer and you'll find the backlog is a Frankenstein of whatever got thrown in the Slack last night, right? No prioritization, no narrative, just noise. They're all small things, but they're all noise. This happens when a product owner lacks product sense, and the team is reduced to feature delivery units and focused on, once again, strictly focused on delivery, not focused on any vision, strategy, ideation, discovery, not focused on any way to get there. When the backlog is made of whatever things you have lying around in a refrigerator, you don't have Scrum, you have ShuffleBan. Every day I'm shuffling. If you didn't see the video, you just missed me doing a shuffle. How about number 3? The glorious combo, Chaos Squared. This one is the one that deserves a trophy. No stable backlog, no consistent sprint length, no clear goal, just a storm of Trello cards flying in all directions. Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. It usually happens when both the Scrum Master and the product owner are missing in action, or worse, they're present, but not competent. The team is just moving from task to task with no true rhythm, no purpose, no definition of done, and someone somewhere dares to call this ScrumBan. It's not a hybrid. It's a parody or a bad cliche. Look, I'm not just throwing rocks from the sidelines. Here we go. Facts. Ready? I've done ScrumBan successfully with clients several times. And guess what? It was my thought. It was my initiative. And I'll say it straight. It requires maturity. What do I mean by that? If you've got a team that has tickets inbound, and they also have certain work they have to do to keep the lights on, it is possible to create a hybrid version that works. But it requires focus, it requires maturity, and it requires some type of high-level coach to be able to get the teams to function properly, because you don't just start with a ScrumBan mentality. People often come in and think we're just trying to make things lighter, easier, and more adaptive, but in reality, they're cutting away at the structure and not realizing that replacing it with just buy one, get one free, you can't always have a Groupon, wasn't solving anything. So for all the things and all the teams that got burned from doing this incorrectly, I'm sorry. We live, we learn, we're lucky, we learn from our failures. Is ScrumBan ever legit? Of course it is. I just brought it to you. And I want to make sure I emphasize they're not necessarily edge cases, right? If we're talking about ScrumBan, it has to be someone who has mature, high-trust teams working in some type of continuous delivery model who combine predictability of Scrum with flow-based Kanban and know how to handle inbound work for a percentage at a time and then how to handle the rest or to keep the lights on with the other percentage at a time. It is definitely required to be mature. But you need to realize it's not just mashing things together or running from accountability or trying to figure out how to do things differently and trying to make it look agile. If a team says they want to do ScrumBan, ask them the question. Is it by design or by accident? Are we trying to avoid structure, or are we refining it in a way that's going to work for us? Do we have that mental maturity? And do we have fewer rules because we've mastered what we were doing before, or because we've never understood what was right in the first place? And I'm telling you now, if you learn how to do these things, you can make agile work using ScrumBan. You can. But you have to have the right guidance. You have to have the right training. You have to have the right coaching. And it's not a shameless pitch for AgileDad. It's a shameless pitch for if you're going to do something you don't understand, get someone in who does understand to help you learn the ropes so that you can apply it successfully. Don't try to do it on your own. You see it all the time when people doing those stunts. Kids, don't try this at home. It's another one of those things. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.